Dr. Yoni Whitten here, and this week we're going over the best exercises to strengthen your pelvic floor. Let's get into this. Last week I received a message from a member of this community looking for exercise recommendations to build up and strengthen her pelvic floor. She says, "Hey Dr. Whitten, I get groin pain whenever I overexert myself. I don't know if it matters, but the pain is exacerbated when I lift anything. It doesn't even have to be super heavy. I'm also hoping that strengthening this area may help with my bladder prolapse. Geez, any other personal information that I could share here?" Laugh out loud. Well, the good news is that research has shown that targeted strengthening exercises for the pelvic floor can alleviate many of the symptoms associated with pelvic floor dysfunction. What I want to go over with you today is a few simple exercises that you can use to accomplish exactly that. Before we get into the specifics, I want to give you a quick anatomy lesson so that you can clearly picture in your mind the muscles that you're targeting while you're performing these exercises. So like you'd expect, the pelvic floor sits at the base of the pelvis. It's a group of muscles that form a hammock or a sling that runs between your pubic bone in the front and your tailbone in the back. And that sling supports your bladder and your intestines, and if you're a woman, it also supports your uterus. And when this group of muscles contracts, it pulls all of those organs upward towards your abdomen. So it's like a cinching up, and that cinching action helps to stabilize your spine, and it helps to protect you against the pressure and the forces that take place when you're straining, like with exercise. One of the themes that repeats itself in the literature on pelvic floor exercises is that people tend to do better with these exercises when they're under very close supervision. The reason for this is that a lot of people have a difficult time connecting to those pelvic floor muscles. So you can't see the muscles working in the same way that you can see your arm muscles working when you exercise those. And so what you really need to do to get the maximum benefit from these exercises is to work hard to create a mental connection to your pelvic floor. And the best and most effective way to find these muscles and really connect to them mentally would be to think about the muscles that you would have to squeeze and engage in order to stop your flow of pee midstream. Now, once you've got that, you're going to squeeze those muscles and hold them for 2 to 3 seconds, and then you'll have a very good idea of exactly where your pelvic floor is. Of the 3 exercises that I'm going to show you in this video, the first is by far the most important because this movement sets the stage for you to be successful with the other 2. Now, the only equipment that you're going to need for these is a comfortable surface to lie on. Once you've got that, just go flat on your back. Now, from this back lying position, you'll notice that there's a little curve in my lower back and my pelvis is just slightly tilted downward like that. That is not going to work for these exercises. We need to make sure that we get the pelvis into a neutral position. To accomplish that, you're going to bend your knees and bring your heels up towards your butt. And you'll notice that when you do that, the back of your pelvis and your lower back flatten against the ground. What we're trying to do here is get the pelvic floor lined up in direct opposition to the diaphragm. Now, if you notice when you're in this position that your head is tilted like this and your chin is up in the air and you're resting on the back of your head, or if you have really severe postural dysfunction, the back of your head may be off the ground. If you find either one of those and you're not able to just draw your chin down and flatten your back to the ground, then what you should add is a folded towel underneath the base of your head so that you can drop your chin down, and you'll find that adding that towel really helps to flatten that lower back out and achieve that neutral pelvic position. So, simple modification, setting you up for success with this movement. From here, what you're going to do is you're going to breathe in and allow your rib cage to expand. And as you do that, you'll feel that the lower back will come up off the floor just a little bit. So that inhalation, then you're going to exhale. Allow your rib cage to compress and your back to flatten into the floor as you're breathing out. And when you get towards the bottom of that exhale, you're going to squeeze up your pelvic floor like you're stopping your flow of pee or holding in a fart. Sorry, there's no nice way of saying that. Hold that contraction for 1 to 2 seconds and release. You should feel your pelvic floor let go and all the tension around your rear end just drop out. Then you're going to repeat. Big breath in. Expand the rib cage. Feel that lower back come off the floor. Exhale. Rib cage compresses. Back flattens into the ground. Tighten up. Like you're stopping the flow of pee. Hold for 1 to 2 seconds. If you can speak while you're doing this, it shows a good level of control in your stabilizing muscles. After that 1 to 2 second hold, release and feel the tension around the rear end drop out. You'll then repeat that 10 to 15 times. The next 2 exercises add a layer of complexity onto that baseline movement. So I strongly recommend that you take some time and dedicate yourself to getting really good at that first movement before moving on to these other 2. Once you feel really comfortable with that first movement and with finding those pelvic floor muscles and engaging them, then you're ready to move on to this exercise, which is called heel slides. Now, to perform heel slides, it's the exact same setup as the first exercise. So you're going to go flat on your back, and you're going to draw your heels up towards your rear end, bringing your pelvis into a neutral position and your lower back into contact with the floor. Now, if you find that your chin is sticking up or your head is not contacting the ground, you do have the option of adding a little bit of support underneath your head. And if you find that that helps you to flatten your back against the ground, strongly recommend that you use that. From here, the setup is identical. You're going to inhale, expanding the rib cage, exhale, flatten that back to the floor, feel that pelvis drop into neutral, engage the pelvic floor, feel the tension build up around your bottom. And then from there, with your core fully engaged, you're going to slide your left heel away from you. Now, the key here is to only go as far as you can go while maintaining full tension and engagement of those muscles. If you find that you go too far and you lose tension, you need to back it off a little bit. At the bottom of your motion, you're going to inhale and return to start. From there, you'll repeat that 10 times. Inhale. Exhale, drop the rib cage, flatten the back, engage the pelvic floor muscles, slide that left heel as far as you can while maintaining full tension from here to here, and then inhale, return to start. Repeat 10 times and then switch over to the opposite side. The third and final exercise is called toe taps, and the setup for this movement is exactly the same as the other 2. So just go flat on your back. From there, you're going to draw your heels up towards your rear end, bringing your pelvis into neutral and flattening your lower back against the floor. Again, we're trying to get the pelvic floor and the diaphragm opposed to one another. If you find that having a little bit of support underneath your head makes it easier for you to flatten your back against the floor and get into that pelvic neutral position, make sure that you're using that. From here, start is exactly the same. You're going to inhale, expand the rib cage, exhale, compress the ribs, flatten the lower back to the floor, engage your core and tighten up that pelvic floor so that you feel a lot of tension around your rear end. From here, you're going to come up on the toe, maintaining that tension as you bring your leg into a tabletop position. And slowly return to start. Inhale. Exhale, opposite side. Holding the tension as you come up and return to start. The key to this exercise is to maintain tension constantly throughout. If you're getting any back pain during this movement, it's a sign that you are not maintaining enough tension in your stabilizing muscles. So what you would do here is 20 total repetitions, 10 for each side. Just make sure that you're staying tight and pain-free throughout the movement. There are a bunch of different symptoms associated with pelvic floor dysfunction, everything from overactive bladder to pelvic pain to post-void dribbling. That's a little bit of pee continuing to drip out when you finish. In men, it's been linked to erectile dysfunction and premature ejaculation. But the most common symptom, far and away, is that whenever you laugh, cough, sneeze, or strain, a little bit of pee sneaks out. Now, if you suffer with any of those things, then adding a few of these simple exercises to your daily routine could be extremely beneficial. The topic for this video was a suggestion from viewers just like you. So if there's a specific pain, posture, or rehab related topic that you want to know about, leave a comment in the section down below and I'll make a video about it. I want to thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed this video and that you'll put the information to good use. Before you head out of here, please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and toggle notifications to all so that you're notified every time a new video comes out. That's all for now. See you next time.